Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I am Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by a healthy, albeit shameful, helping, pointless banter, lack of focus, and questionably acquired knowledge.
And more.
And more. Now, for today's episode, Locke, I want to talk about something that happened today that's been weighing on my mind. Like I told you before that we wouldn't go into too much parenting type stuff since you yourself are not a parent, but
I am not, sir.
no, but it's a pretty substantial part of my life. So I figured maybe we could try to have a back and forth about something. Okay, so I was having an argument with my daughter today, and we kind of got into it. There's some days where she just wakes up ready for war, she's very irritable and kind of wants to go at it, and nothing I say is sinking in. I asked her to do things and she kind of rebels against me. And this morning was one of those mornings. I was trying to get laundry together. It was something simple, right? I was getting laundry out of the dryer, and I was folding everything up, and I wanted to go put her clothes away, yeah? And I walk into her room, which she keeps her bedroom door closed most of the time, and I walk in there, and I see her drawers are open for her clothes and whatnot, and she has clothes laying on the ground, where she does this thing where she goes into a drawer to look for a particular pair of pants or something, and instead of moving the pants that are on top to the side and then grabbing what she wants and then closing up the drawer, she every pair of pants that are on top of the ones she wants, she takes out, throws on the ground, takes out, throws on the ground, until she gets to the one she wants, and then she leaves her drawer open. Yeah? And I'm like, what kind of fucking Neanderthal are you? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse so soon. But okay. But I told her before, I was like, man, I will do the laundry. I will put the clothes away for you, no issue. I just expect you to keep your stuff tidy, right? Because if I go through all that effort to fold your clothes nice and neat and put them away for you, the least you could do is keep them that way, right? Keep it nice and tidy the way I leave it. And I would continue to do this for you, this chore for you. Right? That sounds like a good deal, yeah?
Yeah.
I was like, you keep your stuff tidy, I'll put your clothes away for you. And she has failed to do that on numerous occasions. And this morning, I just I couldn't do it. I was I walked in there and I saw it like that. And I looked at her, I was like, get over here. Look at this. I was like, we talked about this numerous times and you failed to do it again. So here you go. And I took all the clothes I had in my arms and I threw them on the ground. I was like, you can put your laundry away, because I'm not dealing with this morning. And she gets all sassy, right? And she picks up her clothes and she throws them into the drawers, not even folding them or nothing, and then shoving her drawers shut. And she takes her shirts and she throws those into a drawer, which we hang up her shirts, yeah? We put them up on hangers and then hang them up in her closet. But she decided it'd be faster if she just threw all of her shirts into a drawer and shut the door. And I was like, hell no. You get back in there and you do it right. And she's like, well, I don't want to miss the bus. And I was like, we're not going to miss the bus. We still have 15 minutes until the bus comes. And she just fought with me back and forth. And admittedly, I made a move, because she was just, oh man, she was having at it, man. And I slapped her upside the head. I was like, don't be an asshole. Put your clothes away. And And admittedly, this isn't a move that I like to make often. But there's a point, where where she just pushes too far. And I'm like, dude, like you're just being, oh God, like I don't know if she's doing it on purpose, like pushing my buttons and like taking me to the brink. But golly, bud, man, it was too much for me. And I was like, quit acting a fool and put your crap away, right?
Right.
And I
when
know
their head stopped spinning.
Yeah, right. And well, it wasn't hard. I didn't.
No. I'm playing it. I'm playing it up for entertainment purposes.
Okay, all right. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, and she like, oh man, like the look she gave me, right? Like the look of betrayal, right? Like she looked at me and she was just like, I could see it in her eyes. She was like, how have you done this to me, Father? Like what? I am just a sweet little girl, and you've struck me. My God! But that look she gave me, and like yes, instantly I felt like a little bit bad.
Right.
But at the same time, I was like, I had to get this child's attention, know, and just bring the hammer down. You know what I'm saying? And she put her clothes away very, very nicely. Like everything went together very nice, and yeah, all was well.
So what everybody can learn is that the reset button is right on the back of the head.
Oh man, I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this.
Well.
Like people are gonna listen to this and they'll be like, "Oh, you're such a horrible person. I can't believe you've struck your child or whatever." It's like it's not like I beat the crap out of her, man. Like I slapped her upside the head because she was being a jerk, and I couldn't handle it. All right. Now I could have just do it by the book and just take a step back and breathe and relax and approach her in a more peaceful manner and say, "Oh, please, child, can you please put your clothes away nicely and then we will go out the door and we will go to the bus stop and we'll all have a merry morning."
What we call this is the peasant asking for royalty to give them food.
Exactly,
please,
man.
Please, sir.
Like I can't. I don't have like I don't know how it's possible. Like people always get on others about approaching things in that sort of manner. But man, like that's like fairy tale land, man. Like I don't know how that's achievable, right? Because we all have these crazy emotions that we deal with, and like just stuffing it all down and approaching things in a calm manner, just like that, man. Like I can't. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. I can't achieve that. It's too much for me. And now it's not like I use corporeal punishment on the regular, right? Like, I mean, I feel like before today, slapping her upside the back of the head, right? I feel like the last time I used corporeal punishment was when she was like, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years old, something like that, where maybe I spanked her or something. But like it's not something that I go for, and it's not for any particular reason. Like I'm totally against corporeal punishment, and I think it's like the most obscene thing that a parent could do to a child. No, it's I don't know. I don't really know how I feel towards it. Yes, it's okay. It's effective, right? Like, obviously it's effective because I used it this morning, and yes, like I feel bad about it, but golly, it worked, But it's not something I'm gonna opt for now, knowing the efficacy of it. Right?
It works. So next time I want my way, I'm just gonna
Like I don't want my child to grow up with brain damage because I keep smacking her over the back of the head, right?
Is that what's
No.
wrong with me? Anyway, it's something else to think about. Anyway,
Yeah, right. No.
we were the generation that did get our asses whooped if we were acting unruly, and sometimes more often than maybe more often than others. I remember certain people in my family who were the ones to actually wrestle and pick a fight with children who are unruly, which is something that you and I kind of were discussing a little bit. My mother hated that. Absolutely hated that. It did allow me to get rid of some of my frustration by not hitting them as hard as I could have, you know. But,
Right,
you know,
right.
it was just like, oh, you want to pick a fight? Let's do this. That's something you probably should not do to a teenage boy who's already going through other emotions. You engage confrontation, you now are allowing it to happen to yourself. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. You really got to pick your battles.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's always something, like a lot of efforts you can go through, right? Like as opposed to corporeal punishment, right? Like you could do like all these mind games, right? And it takes a lot of patience and a lot of time to achieve these things. And yes, that's something I often opt for is, trying to get in her head, trying to empathize with her and meet her on common ground. And I'm not really into like all the self-help books and whatnot, into being like a quote unquote good parent, because I mean I've always thought that was absurd, like a parent by the book type of thing.
I feel like no matter what, you're always going to be a bad parent in someone's eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it's not your kid, it's going to be somebody else that just looks back at you and goes, I think they're such a terrible parent. Like, who would let an 8-year-old have a phone or whatever?
Yeah, whatever it may be.
Oh, yeah,
like,
whatever the case may be. Now, I was just like shooting some random thing out into the air, but you can't make everyone happy.
No, like you really can't. Like because I feel like it's, especially like with this, right? Even though it was one time in the last what 6-7 years, like that I've struck my child for being unruly. Like I'm still gonna be awful in someone's eyes. And I understand that. I'm willing to cope with that, and maybe it's going to be split, right? Maybe it's going to be split right down the middle, where half people are like, "Yeah, you did all right. I mean, that was good. Like you got our attention. You did what you had to do. They were being unreasonable, and you set things right. You set the records straight." And then, yes, there's gonna be people who are just gonna like be very patronizing and tell me everything I'm gonna do wrong, and then they're gonna tell me what the future holds for my child. That's the worst thing, right? I get that a lot, where people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that to your child because in the future, they're gonna turn out this way because of this one." Negative action that you took against them. Oh man, and that frustrates me so, like, to no end.
Well, here's the thing that I say for people who end up deciding to say all of that and be like, so is that how you lived your life? So you feel you need to bring attention to it? I mean, we shouldn't really get caught up in everybody else's personal lives. You need to let people do what they feel is right. Why is it that people feel like they need to manage everybody else's life, other families? I can see giving advice, but
you're talking about like other people dictating like how you should operate.
Right. People are always quick to jump on that. They're like, no, that's not what you do. I'm gonna call child services on you. because I feel what you do is absolutely wrong. Now, yeah, call child services when you see a kid getting pummeled for absolutely nothing, or you see a kid's locked in a car, the windows up, and it's a hot day. I can see you maybe wanting to call child services on that, but a parent doped out of their mind, a kid watching as the parent goes into a comatose state. Yeah. Call child services. Then you intervene. But I think you need that family to kind of work something out on their own.
Yeah, like just trying to figure it out, you know? I mean, I feel like that's the best way. Like I've never been behind like these, you know, self-help books with like being like a certain kind of way, right? And operating a certain kind of way, because I feel like that just completely eliminates, you know, your individuality, right? And self growth, right? Because I feel like the most important lessons that I've gotten out of life are things that I've figured out on my own, right? And not with the help of, you know, someone else, you know, writing a book or whatever it may be. Okay, so there was one thing, right, where I wanted to add to the whole parenting advice. I found so when it comes to parents judging parents, right? Most of the time it's behind their back. Yeah, I feel like most of the time it's behind the other parent's back that they make their judgments, and the most of the judgments that you get, like, you know, face to face, is from people who aren't parents. I've gotten that quite a few times where people who aren't even parents have tried to tell me how to be a proper parent. And that, oh man, that gets under my skin, man. And like, I don't even know like where they get the information from, right? Like, I'm like, you're not even a parent, but apparently you know how to exactly to be a parent. Like, where are you getting this from?
They're getting it from their own personal life. Something that happened to them or somebody close to them is my speculation.
I don't even know how to go into it because it bugs me to no end. But like I've received so much judgment just being a parent because like everything I do is just wrong in one way or another. And I feel like I make all the efforts in the world, you know, when it comes to my child. Like she's always number one on my priority list. Like I focus all my attention on her, and still I'm doing something wrong constantly. Now we went on to you know, we were talking about this earlier, like as far as like the fatherly role, you know, and I like we don't have to delve too deep into it, but I feel like just from experience, like just being a father, like I've gotten, you know, very little backing, you know, in my approach to being a father. I mean, it's very prevalent, and I know my daughter's mother has gone against me in many circumstances where she was a big, you know, supporter of all those self-help child rearing books and what have you. She vouches for those, which, I mean, like, great. I mean, good on you. If you want to go buy the book, fine. It's just not something that I'll ever support, because I think it's nonsensical. Like, if you're like completely daft and don't know how to learn from experiences and gain any sort of wisdom whatsoever, then fine, maybe that's for you, you know? But I feel like your average person can figure it out.
I feel like some people might argue that they want to follow the new processes to how people feel. You know, I really think about it. I do think about the concept of how they have these books that teach parents how to do certain things, which at one time would have been like, yeah, smack your kid upside the head and teach him a lesson. And then as time went on, they're like, look, we got a couple of kids walking around that have no clue in the world because they got hit a little too hard somewhere. So now they're like, maybe it's not a good idea. Some parents were taking it a little too far. Now let's treat our kids with this, and I think like
with at least a little bit of dignity.
As we grew up, I recall a lot of things were like, start giving your kids treats, treat them to something to kind of boost their morale to do something and whatnot. Like
positive reinforcement.
The positive reinforcement and whatnot. I have no idea what they say now, and I'm frankly a little scared to read what they have now. I'll do it out of curiosity when the time comes. Does that mean I'll follow it? Probably not.
They got like all kinds of stuff. Like I've seen things on numerous occasions where people like, it's kind of like skeeving, right? Like trickery, you know, like fooling your kids into acting a certain way. Like it's just like it seems so disingenuous, you know, where you're just like, you know, faking your feelings and fooling them into behaving a certain way, and you know, pulling the veil over their eyes so that like they don't actually see what you're trying to achieve. And it's so all the skeeving and what have you.
I'm a Virgo. That'll be easy for me.
Oh man,
skeeving, plotting. Oh, Scorpio rising too, right? That's also my little thing, to be a little conniving.
Right. I don't keep track of all that, but
I'm saying that for the people who
for the astrology
for the people into astrology. That I can get behind. Maybe. I mean that's a concept for. Hopefully, there's no kids watching this, but Santa.
Huh?
What?
What?
Oh my God!
Wait, what are you trying to say?
Nothing. Saint Nicholas, cool guy. Love hanging out with him.
Bad. But anyway, I feel like by the end of it all, I'm a terrible person and I'm a terrible parent, and now everyone, you know, that listens to this podcast has firsthand knowledge of my failure.
I have told Jane Doe, I said, here's what we need to go into this expecting, is already put your head into expecting to hear I hate you at least once. I said, because if at least you put that in there and you're like, they're going to tell me that they hate me, when you hear it, you're going to go, today's the day.
Today is the day.
Today is the day. I'm going to do something that my kid don't like. It's...
Yeah. I feel like that's the toughest part, right? Is the fact that, you know, like if you want to raise like a sort of balanced child, like you're gonna have to do things that they don't like, and they're gonna, you know, hate you for one reason or another. Man, like I don't know the workaround for that. Maybe I'll have to look into the self-help books and see what advice they give. Like more trickery, you know, more skeeving, more plotting, whatever it may be. Like I refuse to believe that our kids are just some robots that can be programmed and what have you. I just feel like you have to cater to their personality that they develop as they grow older. And you
shouldn't say that. Some people might not like that. Ooh.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I guess we'll end it here before we rub anybody else the wrong way.
All right.
Oh God. Thank you for joining us on the Merle and Locke podcast. If you enjoyed this banter, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/Merle and Locke, or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.